All right. Hey, how's it, everyone? Good to see you hanging out. It looks like we've got Elaine here. Kenny Casey's hanging out. Michael Anthony Smith, fantastic Belly Bear. Good to see you all. So happy that you are hanging out here with the Statterbox crew. Waiting for the madness of Statter to show up, but the party happens, woohoo, before I get here, and that is exactly what I like to see. All right, so let's get right into it today. We are going to try to keep this show down to a trim 1.5 hours. I know, the chatter gets best at the end of the show. But you know what? We got to reel it in. I'll talk about it a little bit after this. Oh, of course I'm muted. I had audio issues and I was so smooth with that transition and lo and behold, no sound. Thanks so much, guys. Thank you. I am muted, but I'm not muted anymore. All right. So, what I was trying to say, super stoked that all y'all could be here. You could be here at the usual 4:30 p.m. West Coast time, 1:30 Hawaii time, 7:30 East Coast time, and midnight 30 for the UK types. You basically what you missed, you already knew most likely since you're here, right? Oh, hey, Medium 7 Up, good to see you. Awesome, Darlene, perfect. You guys are here back from a trip up north. Darlene and Rick, my oh my, they have been so gracious as to share with us a little bit of their journey. In fact, maybe we can start off with a fantastic set from Darlene. And oh, you know what? I'm going to wait just a little bit because I want people to come in so they can actually see what's going on. How about we talk about what's going on today? So, what's going on today? We're going to keep this show down to a trim 1.5 hours. 1.5 hours as if that's not long enough. So, hey, I've been thinking I need to trim this back. We've been hitting to the 2 hour mark a lot. And the chat does seem to get better near the end. You know, we get in a groove, but people have lives, et cetera, et cetera. I think 1.5 is probably a good time frame to shoot for. And today we have to shoot for the 1.5 because it's 6 p.m. West Coast time, 3 p.m. on the islands, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Andy Boomatai's Daily Pigeon is going to be coming on. And so we're going to do a manual raid at the end around 6 p.m. when Andy shows up. So this one's going to be a short one. Now, it's very strange and coincidental because Andy did not consult me about the time frame that he was going to be using, which is fantastic and not even a problem because I had been thinking for a couple weeks now, at least a week solid, but really a little bit longer. We've been needing to trim it back just a little bit, and so when Andy swooped in with his time frame, it was the perfect crack of the whip to get my act in order because I can talk forever and we really don't need that. So 1.5 is going to be the show. Hopefully, I mean, we might stray longer on some days, but today we will not. Today we're at a 1.5 hour at 6 p.m. We're going to be heading to the Daily Pigeon Live. And let's see here. Andre, good question. 1.5 mainland time or 1.5 Hawaiian time? Well, today it's going to be 1.5 mainland time, but other days it very much might be 1.5 Hawaiian time. That's it. Hey, Chris, how you doing? Where are you at today? Did you make it back from Tyler, Texas? I know that was... No, wait, Tyler. Yeah, I think you were in Huntington in Ontario. Then you were going back to Tyler. Chris, where are you at now? Yeah, there we go. So, Rick S., you've got pizza on my keyboard, but good to be back on the chat. Yes, I'm so glad to see you and Darlene both back today, Rick. And I will be showing off those videos that you shared with me last night. Thank you so much for getting the Google uploads because they're a much better quality than the original one that I got. And I wanted to show off what you guys had to show off because I have to tell you, Wisconsin, I mean, I don't really know what I thought Wisconsin was looking like, but this is not what I thought Wisconsin was looking like. So, hey, it looks like we've got a bunch of people here now. So, oh, E-Music, good to see you. All right. So, oh, you are Chris. You are in Tyler, Texas. Okay, so I wasn't just making things up. Awesome. Well, I hope you're eating well over there in Tyler, Texas. I've been told there's good coloques. Yeah, Texas people will fix that for me. Terry Gilmore, good to see you. Awesome. All right. So, oh, did Sass Squash come on in? Sass, I didn't see you, but good to see if you are here. Good to see you. Oh no, if I missed Sass. Oh, there's Sass. Hi, Sass. Howdy. Let's see, who else did I miss if I missed anybody else? Um, Gosh darn it. All right. It looks like my eyes are seeing most of the people that I'm seeing. Oh, Chris, awesome. You're eastbound down, loaded up and trucking. Yep, you're going to do what they say can't be done. All right. You're on your way to Georgia. Excelente. Good, good, good. All right. So, as I was talking about before I went and got scattered, Darlene, Rick, they're all up in Wisconsin. We get to hear about Wisconsin every once in a while. I envision Wisconsin, I don't know, what, flat ish? Maybe rolling hills ish, maybe. Dairy farms, cows, cheese, and then, you know, bustling cities along the lakeshore. This is what I think of um, when I think of Wisconsin, but no, Wisconsin is nothing like that. Check this out.
Hey, Mad Statter and Chatters. This is Rick S.
And Darlene S.
Sitting on top of a bluff in the area around our cabin. We'd stop in and say hi. And I don't know when you're going to see this, but we're not going to be here.
Show us, and we're going to show you some pretty scenery. No scanner. Behind us. This side.
Sure.
Hi, Mad Statter. Darlene S. here. We're on a hike up north in the fall, and the lighting isn't the best. It's been partly gray today, but this is a bluff called Wildcats Mound that we like to walk and climb. Hi, Darlene here, trying to get a good shot of the top of the bluff looking down over the forest. This is the best I can do with partially cloudy skies. Pretty from this point of view, but hard to show with the camera. Really, really nice.
Oh my, I think it's the day of the muted mic. All right, so I think I might have had some technical difficulties there. I'm not sure if you guys were able to hear the audio at the beginning of each of those videos, but we can always watch them later because I've got them now, and that was Wisconsin. Hey, Pulani, good to see you. I'm so glad that you're here. And let's see here. Andre, you think of beer and cheese and lakes when you think of Wisconsin. Right, exactly. Oh, Terry, that's so funny. Yes, Rick and Darlene are bluffing us. And, you know, I wasn't able to see any Rickfoot in there, but I'd be willing to bet that Rickfoot was hiding there in the bushes. So let's see. Oh, Green Acres is Green Acres in Wisconsin. There you go. Green Acres. That's exactly what I think of of thing that I think of with Wisconsin. So I was so happy that they shared this video with us because that way it is a much better reality check, you know. Yeah, a much better reality check. So so yeah, there we go. So Rick, are you joking? Don't get closer to the edge for a better picture. No, no, no. That makes me nervous just thinking about it, silly boy. Am I gonna have to stick the Prel on you again? Excellent. So, So that hey Cindy, good to see you. I'm very glad that you could hang out here at the Statterbox or with Chatter at Statter, or I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm glad you're here at Chatter with Statter, lurking in the Statterbox. There we go. Let's go with that. Awesome. So yeah, no, it looked like it was a really high bluff. I don't really want you to go near the edge, Darlene. Absolutely. And 180,000 acres of forest. Yeah, see, I just don't really think of forest land as the as a Wisconsin thing. And yeah, it's called Wildcats Mound, right? So I was wondering, are there wildcats in Wisconsin? You know, do they have bobcats? Do they have cougars? I mean, clearly there's forest that they might live in. So I know that as per our turkey conversation a few chats ago, Rick mentioned that the wild turkey population in Wisconsin was wiped out, and so they had to restock the stock with some turkeys from Missouri, I believe. Rick will have to correct me if that part is wrong. So yeah, I'm just wondering. Is there wildcats, big kind, little kind meaning like bobcats, or are you have they been wiped out? Because I'm sure that at one point there was, according to my Little House on the Prairie books, actually there was bobcats and cougars in Wisconsin at one point. But I wouldn't be surprised if they were eradicated. But then I wouldn't be surprised if they were eradicated and then came back. So I'm just wondering, are there any wildcats on Wildcats Mound? Um, yeah. Oh, another good question. Do they have badgers? Badgers are kind of scary. Yeah. So, yeah, and speaking Andre, they got bars in Wisconsin. They have cougars. That's not the cougar I was talking about, silly. That's not what I meant. Oh, is Wisconsin the Badger state? Well, then, yeah, I wondered why Terry asked that, actually. But yeah, if Wisconsin's the Badger state, then that is a really good question. Do they have badgers? So, Rick, you got some new green liquid stuff from eMusic this weekend. You got to give it a try and see if it's the Perel antidote. Well, it just might be, Rick, and I have a feeling I know exactly what it is. Is it something that your manicurist wants you to soak in it? Is Madge soaking in it? Is it palm olive? Yep, palm olive is so gentle on your skin. Very much opposite of what Prel could say about their product. So you might be onto something. The palm olive being the antidote to the Prel. So maybe you're protected from my threats of Prel from now on, thanks to eMusic. Maybe that palm olive will act as your shield. Okay, so Darlene's hooking us up with the knowledge. Some have been cited, but not on a regular basis in regards to cougars. More bear, wolves, coyote, badgers, porcupines, raccoons, river otters, beavers, etc. Yes, totally. That makes sense. I wouldn't be surprised if there are with all of that. I wouldn't, if especially wolves. If they've got wolves, I'm sure that they've got cougars. Um, I have no what is it? I have no proof, no footnotes, no way to substantiate my thesis, which is there are cougars if there are wolves, but that's just what I think. So there you go. Um, and it's good to know that they do actually still have badgers. Very good to know. But I have to tell you, and I think I've told you this story before, river otters, man. I mean, badgers have a reputation, and rightfully so. I'm not suggesting that river otters are even more scary than badgers, but badgers are kind of scary, and they have a reputation, rightfully so. But river otters can be scary too. Let's just remember that. They're cute, but a group of them can and have taken down alligators. So that's how that works. Andre, oh no, not the Prel torture. One green drop after another on the forehead. Pretty soon it'll just eat away through your skin. There you go. Um, so, eMusic, there are many types of four-legged animals: wolves, deer, mouse, cougars, bears. Okay, so eMusic, you think that there are cougars? They're just cougars don't. don't like to be seen. So, that makes sense that they're seen, but very rarely. Um, do otters and beavers fight? Gosh, Andre, I don't know. I haven't really lived in close enough proximity to beavers to have witnessed that. But, yes, medium 7 up, otters versus alligators. Now, granted, it has to be a smaller sized, somewhat, not full grown, an alligator is only a couple years old, or whatever. I mean, only like 3 or 4 feet long, as opposed to the, super size alligator size that can happen after, they get super old. But, yes, groups. I mean, it's not like a one-on-one thing. One otter cannot take down an alligator. But when the otters work together, they can take down an alligator. And when I learned that, I looked at otters in a whole new way. We'll just leave it at that. E-music, moose, not mouse. I was wondering why you mentioned mouse, because I was like, well, I think mice are everywhere, dude. But moose, that totally makes sense. Makes way more sense. I mean, I'm sure there are mouse too. But yeah, there we go. That makes sense. Let's see here. Andre, yeah, your mountain lions do love being filmed on Ring cameras. Your mountain lions are a little bit, honestly, I feel like all of the cougars in California have a little bit of Hollywood in them, and they just want to get on film. They just want to be seen. They're doing their screen tests, and they want to make sure they go viral so they can get a deal. I really do think that, because seriously, you guys have so many cougars in proximity to populated places. It makes me uncomfortable. Oh, Darlene, really, you just had some trees taken out this last time by some beavers. Interesting. I ran across a couple beaver trees or beaver stumps, and I was surprised at how tall beavers must be. I mean, the stumps were, like 3 feet high, and then it was the rounded, you could see it was teeth marks and beavered and rounded or whatever, but it was like, how was the beaver on a step stool? Was the beaver on another beaver's back? How did the beaver get so tall that I was really surprised at how tall beavers could be. Yeah. Let's see here. Belly bear watching, listening while you paint an old picture frame. Sounds exactly perfect. Get your creativity and chore list done. Let's see here. Yeah, medium 7 up. Dang, still. I know, right? Exactly. That's why Terry Gilmore pipes in otter respect, man. Wow. That's exactly it, dude. So Rick S says 2 years ago, a young bull moose wandered into the area near a cabin and took up with a herd of cows and stayed a couple months before the deer. Okay, sorry. Let me reread this because this is hysterical. 2 years ago, a young bull moose wandered into the area near our cabin and took up with a herd of cows and stayed a couple months before the DNR gave it the walking papers, i.e. a free ride back north. Honestly, I can totally see how something like this would happen. I mean, first off, the moose is just like, well, look at all this free food, and it's all, it's chill, and plus, he's probably feeling like a little bit of a badass, right? He's got his harem, right? All these girls, and he's the only boy. His testosterone's probably flowing. But at the same time, it's just like, dude, I don't need a moose. I don't need a mama moose, but I don't need a bull moose neither. Anywhere near where there's going to be people. I don't need no moose getting used to being around people. Moose are huge and frightening. And dude, I mean, no, you can't. Oh, Mr. Moose, I'm so sorry that you're living the chill life, but no, dude, you got to get out of here. You got to get out of here. Oh man. Yeah, and then Andre, right, so back to the otter crocodile thing or alligator thing. Yeah, in the Amazon, giant otters eat the caiman being like the little alligators. There you go. Oh, what? Okay, medium 7 up. You're on a train and you just went past a Coke with coffee billboard. What? Yeah, so is it like a Coke? Because you know how Coke has different flavors, like there's mango Coke and there's whatever, which mango Coke sounds disgusting to me. I like mangoes, I like Coke, but together. Is it maybe Coke with coffee flavor, which also sounds gross? So Andre, right. The mountain lions are trying to keep up with the bears in videos in California. Darlene tells me that the beavers like to stand on their hind legs. Yeah, I guess, but I guess I just didn't really appreciate how tall beavers are or how big beavers are. Um, um, so wait, okay, so Pualani. Oh wow, okay, hold on. I've been swimming. Hold on, gotta go, don't go. No, I want to read this. Okay. Pualani says, I've been swimming with beavers on a moon bright night in a lake in eastern Pennsylvania. Freaked out me and the beaver. They slapped the water and I went underwater and got out as fast as I could. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in, I don't like knowingly being in a water area where another creature is in the water, and that creature, like, the water is way more the beaver's element than it is yours, so it's just like, yeah, let's just, and at night, I mean, it sounds awesome at first. It's moonlit night, swimming in a lake, let's do this. Oh, let's not. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Andre, moose are badass and they do kill more people. I don't know. I don't have the stats on them killing more people than bears, but I'm not at all surprised, actually. I know, and the bull moose are, scary, but the mama moose are just as frightening, especially when they've got their young ones. I mean, mama anything when they've got their young ones is kind of scary. So, yeah. So, let's see here. Oh my, Kenny Casey, he's all over the Coke flavors. Okay, so apparently Coke, wow. So Coke plus coffee vanilla flavor, Coke Zero, of course, is your favorite jam. Yeah, exactly, medium 7-Up. Ooh, mango Coke? Yeah, precisely. Okay, Terry, swimming near Honu is pretty magical. That's true. But at the same time, depending upon how large the turtle is, I would still get a little bit nervous swimming near such a large creature. Yeah, so I know that that's really odd because I got into an argument with Andre over whether or not I should be scared kayaking with whales and the like. Speaking of which, a whole bunch of things have happened in regards to whales in the Puget Sound. So remember, we had a sighting of the transients. Now, these are the transients that we've seen pictures of before, that I showed pictures of before. And so these transients, probably the same ones, possibly, we'll see. It's hard to say, actually. These ones, or recently, in the last couple of weeks, they have had, oh, I've got so many thoughts. All right, so when I was talking about these whales last time, Kenny asked whether or not the transients and the resident whales ever interact, and if so, what happens? So I said, okay, no, they don't ever interact. Well, as it turns out, probably like the day Kenny was asking that very same question, this happened. Now, this is the whale in the forefront is a transient, quite possibly one of the whales that we saw in the slideshow that I was just showing. And then the three fins in the back, those are the residents. So as it turns out, apparently a bunch of transients were in the middle of a hunt. They were in the middle of a hunt for seals. And then a whole herd or pod, that's actually the word, a whole pod of the residents came through, and the residents are the three in the back. And the residents effectively, even though the residents are fish eaters and considered by people like me less dangerous, I mean, I'm rethinking my stance. Don't get me wrong. I'm rethinking my stance. But the residents, they eat fish. They're not as scary. Well, they came in to the mammal eating seal slingers because the transients eat seals and other mammals, and they sling them up in the air before they eat them. So the skin loosens and it's easier and whatever. Anyway, so the gentle residents came in to the hunt of the big bully transients, right? And they were like, no, we're going to eat here. And the transients said, okay, let's get the hell on out of here. Those transients, that is the group that was hunting together, when the residents showed up, those transients all took off. This picture is a picture of what's known as porpoising. And porpoising is how the orcas swim super fast. So like the residents came in and basically said, yeah, your hunt is done here. You're not going to eat today because we're going to eat our salmons. And so scared off the big bullies all of a sudden, and there you go. So, Kenny, actually, what happens apparently is they don't get into a fight, and the more mild-mannered, quote-unquote, timidly seeming orcas actually are the ones who ended up the victors and got everybody, got all the other ones to get the heck on out of there. They're this is our room now. It's dinner time for us. So there you go. That's how that happened, and I thought I'd keep you guys all up to date on that. And we actually have hold on. What's going on here? Medium 7 Up. The childproof lock has prevented you from accessing your prescribed THC. Not a happy bunny. No, I can't reach through the camera and help you. I wish I could. Oh no, the childproof lock on the prescribed THC. I don't even know. Do they actually sell it like that? That's crazy talk. I've never heard of such a thing. So Andre asked, do you know that orcas throw and kill many animals just for play and sometimes just leave the corpses floating and go on to something else still moving? Oh, that doesn't surprise me at all. No, I didn't know that, but that doesn't surprise me at all. Well, actually, I do know... I was just reading that even the residents sometimes do that with porpoises. They play catch with the porpoise just to mess with the porpoise. I mean, really, orcas are kind of, as much as I do like them because they're our local little whatever, they're kind of dicks, it sounds like. I mean, the more I learn about them, the more I'm just like, Jesus, these guys are kind of bullies of the ocean, I don't know. It just, they seem like they've kind of got attitudes. I mean, for goodness sake, they can kill a great white shark. So I suppose they have a reason to feel like they're like, who you gonna call? So, it's like, we are the goon squad. Who you gonna call? The goon squad? Because we are the goon squad. And yeah, Andre, exactly. Poor Miles. He's got the stoner-proof cap, and it's not fair. Exactly. Orcas, the Rottweiler puppies of the ocean. That's one way to look at it. That is a very generous way to look at it. I'm not so sure everyone thinks of it that way. They probably think of them more as like grown-up scary Rottweilers, but yeah, they're just Rottweiler puppies. Just puppies. Yeah, Terry, exactly. Don't mess with the resident orcas in their hood. It's just like, hey, no one invited you. I don't know why you think you can come eating in my garden. I know I don't like carrots, and I know that there's carrots, but that don't mean the carrots are for you. What? Yeah, I think that's sort of what happened. Yeah, that's true, Andre. Yeah, the one thing that orcas do fear is SeaWorld, precisely. Exactly. That's funny. So, yeah. So, speaking of whales, though, so check this out. We've got, all right. So, we've got all right, I'm going to show this picture. This picture, the little orange circle is kind of where I'm at, and we'll talk about that later. But like, if you go up to, the north part of the, let's see here. If you just go up to the north part, like where that horizontal blue line, the Strait of Juan de Fuca, starts to curve, that's where the transients and the residents got into a little brouhaha. But the The orange circle area, that orange circle area is where a beluga whale has been spotted recently. And it's also, let's see here. The orange circle area on this picture is basically this area right here. And by the way, we've driven this route. In fact, actually, we should drive this route in a little bit. So, so the beluga whale that we have recently in the Puget Sound has gone all the way down to the Seattle area. And it's like, I think it's like 1,500 miles away from where it's supposed to be. And they're not really sure why this lone beluga is just traveling in the Puget Sound, but it's kind of healthy-ish. It's a little bit skinny, but considering that it's 1,500 miles outside of its normal home range and territory, I suppose it's maybe not surprising that he's a little bit skinny, or she, they're not really sure. So I wanted to share with you the little news program about it because, frankly, I think it's really awesome. I'm going to go with it's really awesome that we're getting all these whales because the last time a beluga was in the Puget Sound was 40 years ago. So belugas did used to be here. So I'm going on the hopeful... I know. I'm going on the hopeful mindset that it is awesome that the beluga is here. There are other reasons why the beluga is here that aren't so awesome, but that's not what I'm going to be focusing on. So here's a little local news story about things and stuff. Oh, whoops, hold on.
So from Tacoma to here in Seattle, in Elliott Bay, right behind me, also Bremerton, apparently this beluga whale has captivated so many precisely because it is so rare.
In that instant, we knew that we were watching something that was truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Jason Rogers was sailing in Commencement Bay near Tacoma Sunday afternoon when he saw a white object in the water. His wife captured the moment on video.
Our first thought was that it was an orca that was actually upside down from the bottom side of it. That was quickly ruled out, and then it became, I think we're looking at a beluga here.
And we were just baffled, like, what is this animal? I've never seen anything like this in this bay before.
The next day, on Monday, Shannon Felix was kayaking off Jack Block Park in West Seattle when something caught her eye.
Then it surfaced again, and I could hear it breathe, and it sounded like a porpoise. And John said, "It's white."
She and her husband John thought it might be a white sea lion, anything but a beluga.
I was like, albino? Could
we
it that
ruled that out.
possible?
We were sure it couldn't be a beluga because it
Why would it
wouldn't
be a
be here.
beluga?
It was a beluga, confirmed by NOAA fisheries experts who studied the video.
And the lack of a dorsal fin. Belugas are one of the few whales that don't have a dorsal fin.
Paul Wade has been studying beluga whales in the Cook Inlet in Alaska for years. He says this whale is very far from home.
They are an Arctic and subarctic species. The nearest population is over 1,000 miles away.
The reason why it's here, still unknown.
Oftentimes they may be sick. They may be undernourished and looking for food and sort of trying to go to sort of crazy places to find food because they're desperate.
Those who saw it may feel lucky.
But unlucky in that we knew it was probably in distress and a long way from home and probably didn't have as good a chance of survival here.
So a NOAA team is definitely also watching for this beluga whale. Ideally, they would like to take some high quality photos of it to recognize any potential markings that might link it to some of the beluga whale families up in the Alaska region. Of course, if anyone happens to spot this beluga in this Puget Sound area, do not go near it. It may be distressed. The NOAA experts that I talked to say that there is a chance that this whale may not survive as it is so very far away from its natural habitat. Live in Seattle, I'm Christine Pei, King 5 News.
Okay, so yes, that is right. It might not survive. It's a problem. I know, but I'm being optimistic. So weird things happen. Like Andre just said, they had a humpback swim up the Sacramento Delta. things happen. By the way, Chris, if you're still here, have a good night. So glad you stopped by for a quick minute. I hope you have a great evening and safe travel to Georgia. And Jen, you know, I hope I'm glad to see you here. And yeah, I totally hope it's exploring new territories for food sources, perhaps, because Rick, yes, the salmon are running right now, which is why which is why I'm a little bit optimistic. The timing of which this whale came to the Puget Sound coincides with the salmon runs, which says to me that maybe he's out looking for new food sources for his crew or whatever. I don't know. But what I do know is now that he's here, there is food for him or her, whatever it is. That being said, Andre, you bring up a good point. Orcas do eat belugas, and the type of orca that does eat belugas are generally the transients. That being said, they're just now finding out that there might actually be two different types of transient whales. There's the transients that come further inland, and then there's the transients that are like exclusively in the deep water ocean. And the transients that are exclusively in the deep water ocean, they're hypothesizing, are the ones that eat the great white sharks. So, as it turns out, apparently they're just now learning about the different types of orcas. They used to all think they were the same, but they're realizing now that they divided them into residents and transients, but now they're realizing that the transients might even have a further delineation or demarcation or whatever the word it is that I'm looking for. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. So yeah, it's very, very strange. It is very strange that the beluga was here, but at the same time, like I said, there's reasons for it. There's reasons for hope. The the articles that I was reading before I found the news clip was saying that the whale doesn't seem to be in bad health. It's a little bit undernourished, but just a little bit. Well, we've had residents that were severely undernourished in their own home turf. So to me, like a beluga who is 1,500 miles away from home, yeah, I'm not really surprised necessarily that he's a little undernourished, but he's here now at a great time. So given circumstances, I'm going to have hope. That's all I can say. I'm going to have hope. But the neat thing about this, let's see if I can find it. Okay, here we go. Okay. So, oh, why aren't we going? Oh, here we go. So the neat thing about this is a drive that we took. Oh, hey, Chris, you are still here. Yeah, go moi moi. We don't want you to be on the road and super tired. So let's see. We've had a sea lion walk into your freeways in East Oakland. That's funny and disturbing and frightening. Sea lions are huge and terrifying. Yeah, so this little ride that we have taken before goes around that little route that I was showing you. And so just to give you an idea of where Jack Block Park is, I will point out to you that park and where those people were kayaking off of, and basically where the beluga was. So it's just a little further north up here. And yeah, exactly, Darlene. Let him fatten up and then he can move on. That's really seriously what I'm hoping. Oh, medium 7-Up. Excellent. You missed 8 minutes of chatter. Your friend just called to ask if you'd present at a conference about teaching ukulele. Nice. Excellent. Fantastic. Well, to catch you up, we've had a beluga whale spotting in the Puget Sound right outside of Seattle, actually all the way down to Tacoma as well. And beluga whales are not supposed to be here. They're supposed to be in Alaska. He's 1,500 miles out of his range. And the park that the people were kayaking off of who saw the beluga whale outside of Seattle, that park entrance is coming up here in just a few seconds. Okay, maybe like 30 seconds. So basically, yeah. This is this is a drive that we used to have, that we did once before. We've seen, if you've been here before, you may have seen this. But yeah, right here at this this little weird archway, if I had turned right there, that would have been Jack Block Park. And you go down Park, and then basically, as you can see, this is all, if I just had a little bit better camera angle, you could see the water right over there. And so that's basically where the beluga whale was. So you can kind of see the water there. So the beluga whale was there. So, yeah, so that's where the beluga whale was seen. And then of course we see orcas in that area too. And plenty sea lions. Yeah, Andre, I better hope that the polar bears don't follow the beluga whale down here. Absolutely. But I don't think they will. By the time they get down here, they'll have evolved back into their brown bears that they came from, right? So yeah, so this is the little situation. And oh yeah, here. So this is not Jack Block Park, but Jack Block Park is like just to the right. You know, if I panned to the right, which I didn't, but if I did pan to the right, you would see Jack Block Park. But basically, this water that you're seeing right here, that is where the beluga was. Yeah, Andre, who was Jack, and why does he have a block? I don't actually know. I'm assuming his name was Jack Block. But why he got a park, I cannot answer that question. It's a very strange park, too. It's like, it used to be industrial area, and not much has changed, even though they call it a park now. So it's just, yeah, it's just weird. So, Curtis, oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm so glad that you're enjoying the whale talk. Yeah, well, you know, I think it's probably because I had the one whale talk that my social medias are coming up with all these whale things. But actually, the beluga in Puget Sound is a big deal these days. It's all the chat of the town. So I thought I'd share with all y'all. And like I said, just the other day, I found out what happened. I saw an article that came up about what happens when transients and residents come together. And I was like, hey, Kenny asked that question. How perfect is this? So yeah, I'm so glad you're here, Curtis. And I'm so glad the chat is appropriate for your pleasure. Yeah, let's see here. I had something else I wanted to mention. Oh, yeah, I remember now. Oh, yeah. Andre, the polar bear is going to move into Climate Pledge Stadium and not pay. Well, you know, I think that the Climate Pledge Stadium would be welcoming, because first off, it's going to be an ice rink, so it'll be a good temperature. And second off, it's a cashless venue, and we all know that polar bears don't carry any cash. So I think that they'll be able to work out a deal. It'll be great for everybody. When you're an orca for life. There you go. Oh, you know, that reminds me. So there's right now there's a local college baseball team that is West Seattle White Center oriented. You may have heard me mention these neighborhoods, West Seattle White Center. And a colloquialism that we have for West Seattle, both West Seattle and White Center, is Dub C. Dub meaning like W, and W meaning West or White. And then it's spelled D-U-B-S-E-A, Dub C. And it either stands for W Seattle, or it stands for WC, meaning the letter C, meaning White Center. So it's basically a geographical moniker for both White Center and West Seattle, which are two different neighborhoods. But they blend into each other. So it's a very logical nickname. Well, anyway, there's a college baseball team called the Highline Bears. And Highline is a school district in Burien, and it's also a high school in Burien. But the Highline Bears have nothing to do with either of those things. They're a college level baseball team. And so they wanted to change their name. So they decided, since they play in White Center, they're going to change their location moniker to Dub C. And they're going to change their team name from the Bears, which is so boring, to either the Swingin' Seals or the fish sticks. Now, the logo for the swinging seals is an orca using a seal as a baseball bat. And it's in homage to how the orcas basically play with and torture their prey before they eat it. Frankly, I'm a fan of the fish sticks. The fish sticks logo, first off, has a left-hander. The fish stick is left-handed, and so that immediately I'm like, oh well, I'm left-handed, so that's my logo anyway. But frankly, the sea slingers to me, the seal slingers to me is just, it's a little bit too gruesome. Like, I mean, it's just like, I mean, they made it a cartoon. They tried to make it funny, but I just am not down with it. And so right now, those are the two names and logos, and there's a vote on it. Now, there's a lot of people in the area who have just heard about this, and they're freaking out. They're just like, both of these names are horrible, and half the community doesn't even understand what Dub C is, which cracks me up, because it's like, have you not noticed how many businesses in this neighborhood and area are called like Dub C Coffee, Dub C, blah, there's Dub C Press, there's Dub C this, there's Dub C is all over the area. How they've never made that connection, I don't really understand. But yeah, there's a big brouhaha, and which I think is great, because frankly, until the big brouhaha happened, I'd never even heard of the Highline Bears. But now that I know what they are, it's just like, oh dude, I totally want to go buy a ticket and see what's going on with that. What's up with that? Now, whatever league this team is part of, it's like it's a very specific baseball league that has teams all over the country. Well, one of the teams recently rebranded as like the Minneapolis Trash Pandas or whatever. So it's like, this is the kind of logos that this kind of league has. So I'm all for the fish sticks. I mean, the seal slingers or the seal swingers, whatever it is, it's a cute logo, but when you really know what it's about, it's too gruesome. I prefer the fish sticks. Plus, the fish stick logo or the fish stick mascot looks like it would be way easier for a mascot to like maneuver in the costume than an orcas suit. Now, I suppose with the orca suit, they could have two mascots. It's the orca and the seal that he's swinging, and you could have, I don't know. I prefer the fish sticks. So there you go. Let's see here. Michael Anthony, you're all about the swinging seals. Let's see. All right. So missed a whole bunch here. So the transient orcas are the sharks and the residents, the jets. I guess, Andre, I've never seen West Side Story. My sister, on the other hand, has seen West Side Story. She watched West Side Story every single day for like 2 years straight or something. So she knows that movie. I've never seen it. Yeah. Okay, Andre, now when you say Doob C is a rapper from California, do you mean Doob as in Doobie, like Doobie C, or Doob, or did you mean Dub when you said that? He's the one who he made the West Side hand signal with Ice Cube. Interesting. I wonder if he gets commissions. I'm sure he doesn't, but he should. Yeah, Pualani, when you're anywhere with bears, especially going berry picking in bear season, bells on your thing, very good plan. Oh, Terry Gilmore, the swinging seals, that's just opening the team up to all kinds of ridicule. Having been focused primarily on what the harsh natural reality of the swinging seals came from, didn't even go that direction. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Kenny, that's so cute. When you picture the swinging seals, you picture seals in zoot suits. Well, now see, that would be cute. That is not the direction they took with the logo. Gosh, I really wish I had even thought, I didn't even think we were going to talk about this. I wish that I had thought to download, maybe next stream, I'll have the pictures of the different options so you can see just what I'm talking about here. let's see here. And Andre, us in Seattle we do have a thing for vicious sea animals. They're Kraken and seal killing orcas. Well, now you bring up a good point. Given that circumstance, I suppose the swinging seals is appropriate. So one YouTube guy calls orca murder pandas. Oh, well, that totally makes sense. And in fact, actually, that makes more sense than trash pandas, because pandas are black and white and orcas are black and white, whereas raccoons aren't really black and white. I get why they call them trash pandas, and I appreciate trash pandas. Oh yeah, trash pandas. Michael Anthony Smith. That's a nickname for raccoons. If you ever hear anybody say trash panda, they're most likely talking about a raccoon. And if you ever hear anybody say cobra chicken, they're most likely talking about a goose. So yeah, that's, well, Terry Gilmore, it's funny you should say that. He's using a French fry as his bat. So there's a delineation. You can tell the difference between the fry in the logo cartoon. You can tell the difference between the fish stick and the fry. And he's using the fry as his bat, which is logical, right? I mean, wouldn't you? Yeah. Hey, Anne, good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. We're talking a lot about whales today. But orcas mostly, and how they're just mean. Darlene, that's all they can come up with, really? Fish sticks or seal swingers? Okay, good question. And that was the main complaint that people were having in regards to the choices. So what happened? This name change thing apparently has been going on for like almost a year. And at the beginning part of the name change thing, they had a bunch of people submit a bunch of ideas. And they had like over 500 submissions. And so then of the 500 submissions, they took them to this public relations marketing firm that specializes in rebranding the teams in this particular league, whatever league it is. I wish I could tell you. I wish I had done more research for this chat. They've gone through and they've renamed a bunch of teams, and all of the rebrandings have ended up being huge successes. So this firm waded through the hundreds of submissions and basically brought it down to the fish sticks or the seal swingers, the seal swingers. And so now the community gets to vote on which two. And I have to tell you, dude, people are like, it's the B-Town blog, the Burien blog. People are up in arms. Like, people are angry at these two choices. They do not like them at all. But as of the first day of voting, it was 52% seal swingers, 48% French fries. Or fish sticks. Now, hopefully that'll switch, but it's clearly, it's a tight race. It's a tight race. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, Andre, the Seattle Freeze would be a good name for a baseball team in Seattle. That is very true. In fact, actually, if we get a basketball team back, maybe we can use the Seattle Freeze. And Darlene, yeah, I've seen some huge raccoons, and some of them are eating good. Totally. Well, so you thought swinging seals was just kinky Seattle people. Well, actually, all right. So seals. All right. Have you guys ever heard of bears? It's a term for large, hairy gay men. Well, otters are younger, hairy, slightly thinner gay men. And I believe there's another delineation called seals. And I don't remember what they are, but there are, some kinky Seattle people are actually referred to as seals. So there you go. It's a gay thing, a gay man thing. No, Kenny, I guess you missed it. The seal swingers was inspired by the way orcas catch and kill their prey. They'll sometimes, grab a seal, and what they do is they throw it up through the air. So when it lands, it like loosens the skin enough that they can then bite them and like kill them. It's part of how they kill their prey. So it's really not like, I mean, it's gruesome. Like if you know why, if you know what they're talking about, your first initial reaction should be, oh, hell no, that should not be the name of the team. Now, I will admit the logo that they created is super cute. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to spin it as the seal and the orca have this Tom and Jerry like relationship. And they're in on the joke together. Like that's the little background story they're trying to go with the logo, but I'm not buying it. I'm team fish fry or fish stick 100%. Yeah, I'm team fish stick 100%. So, I know, right? Seattle Freeze would be an awesome name. I mean, like, seriously, how has that not even been suggested sometime before, right? You know? So let's see here. Well, you know, it's funny, eMusic. Did that company only survey middle school kids for suggestions? I do believe that the name our new team was heavily promoted in the elementary and junior high schools. So I do believe that, yeah, actually, I read an article about it. I'll have to like, next time I'll have more details about this. But no, from my understanding, yeah, actually a lot of the submissions came from kids. Like a lot of them came from kids. So this, you know, so this is it. Let's see here. And okay, I have to chime in. Seal swingers will just get mocked. Any name has to pass the playground test. Would elementary schools make fun of Would elementary school kids make fun of it? The two names don't pass the playground test. It's true, but you know, it's really not the playground test that most of the people, the problem with the seal swingers that most of the locals seem to have is that's just flipping gross, dude. You know, I mean, because it comes from a really brutal fact of reality. Then there's that whole other direction where it doesn't pass the playground test. So yeah, yeah, and the swinging seals is going to have a really interesting mascot. No, it's not seals chasing. It's going to be an orca that's going to be chasing the seal because remember, I haven't shown it to you yet. The mascot is an orca who's using a seal as a bat. And this now, admittedly, in the cartoon logo, the seal does look like he's into it. I mean, it's like he's all having a good time, but still, though, it's just, I don't know. Andre, orca humor is kind of sadistic. I would expect it. Yeah. Okay. Good point. Oh, Terry, the U.S. Navy would have no issue with gay seals. The U.S. Navy is the gayest branch of the military ever. And I say that as someone who grew up in Bremerton. That's so funny. Yeah. Kenny Casey, how did the Seattle Kraken not get named the Seattle Freeze? Opportunity missed for sure. I didn't even make that connection. And yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Well, you know, maybe if there's ever a women's hockey team, it could be the Freeze. But still, I still think that the Seattle Freeze would be good for any sport. And we're still apparently thinking about getting a basketball team again. So maybe we can save it for that. Yeah, exactly. With the prices for the seats, the Kraken should be named the Freeze. Oh, good Lord. Don't even get me started. Yeah, tell me about it, dude. But as I said before, the tickets are only stupid expensive for the first month. So that whole $650 for the cheapest seat was only for October. November, it drops dramatically. So my outrage was only a little bit justified, a smidge, tiny bit justified. Rick, baseball names. The Seattle Pilots were a real thing back in the day. Yep, in 1968 before they moved out. That is true. I don't remember that, but I remember being told that many times. And we switched to, instead of Pilots, we ended up getting the Seafaring Mariners. And yeah, how's that worked out for us? Oh, speaking of the Seafaring Mariners, though, actually, I totally forgot about this. Apparently, the fish stick emblem, the fish stick mascot for the Dub C fish sticks, it's a left-handed batter for a reason, And the baseball cap is put on backwards, and apparently that's an homage to Ken Griffey Jr., who even this non-sports ball loving person knows Ken Griffey Jr. is still much revered in the Seattle area. Oh yes. Oh yes. I know, right, Darlene? If I was a seal, I don't think I'd be having a good time with an orca chasing me and swinging me around. It's funny you should say that. I saw a video of an orca chasing a sea otter, and the sea otter hopped into someone's boat to get away from the orca. Yeah, exactly. The sea otter was not having a good time. And and that's why, though, they're trying to put the spin on it of it's a Tom and Jerry relationship and the seal is in on the joke and whatever, but I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Seattle hockey team back in the day was the Metropolitans. No, Terry. That's kind of a lame name. No, Terry, that's a totally lame name. That is a totally lame name. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's not do that. So, Andre, what is a sea eagle? You mean the real animal? I've never heard the term sea eagle, but if you're asking what is a sea hawk, that's an osprey. The osprey is the real sea hawk. Because the ospreys, I think they're a type of hawk, or they sure look like it at least. And they pretty much exclusively live on fish. So, osprey, if you're asking what is a sea hawk, that is an osprey. If you're asking what is a sea eagle, I can honestly tell you, I have no idea, dude. No idea. Unless you're making a joke, in which case it's just going way over my head. Oh, Kenny Casey, on a related note, the Kraken are on right now. Oh, excellent. I heard that they didn't win their Las Vegas game the other day. But didn't Las Vegas win the Stanley Cup not but 2 seasons ago? So, like, isn't Las Vegas maybe kind of okay? Like, the fact that they lost to Las Vegas shouldn't really be that concerning, should it? I think we all know. I don't know what I'm talking about. So, Andre, osprey is way cooler than the name Seahawk. Yeah, I kind of agree, but the Seattle Ospreys doesn't flow as much as the Seattle Seahawks does. And Seahawk is a legit nickname for an osprey. I mean, they didn't just like make that for the team. That actually is a nickname for an osprey. So, yeah, Terry Gilmore, Seahawk, another vicious hunter. Totally. Yep. But you know what's really funny? When you hear them chirp, they sound like they're just this tiniest little bird. They've got the cutest little high pitch, sort of just like they sound like a little tiny bird. And then you see where that noise is coming from. And it's like, oh, that monster has a beautiful voice. Yeah. Let's see here. Jen, all right, you're dropping some knowledge. Orcas will also hunt and eat baby humpback whales, and as a result, the humpback whales will protect anything that orcas hunt. That's why you'll see photos of seals riding on the backs of whales. Interesting, and that doesn't surprise me at all. That there's nothing about that surprises me. And yeah, TikTok, what do you know? But yeah, thanks for dropping that knowledge. Excellent. That's totally appropriate here. Darlene, why not the name Osprey? Well, I mean, the Seahawks have been the Seahawks since I've known them. I don't know what went in that decision, but I assume it just has everything to do with, how it rolls off your tongue. So, to the tune of In America from West Side Story, swimming around in the Puget Sound, toss you around in the Puget Sound. At least I think that might be the song you're talking about. Like I said, I've never seen the movie, so yeah. Wait, what? People would call them to sea chickens? I don't know what you mean by that. So explain, Jen, because I'm confused. So let's see here. In their last home game, the Seattle Seahawks mascot swooped down and perched on a Seahawks fan's head. I don't know about that, dude. Yeah, Darlene, no, exactly. Little chirp, but large talons to grab fish, just like eagles. Yeah, eagles are another one that's just like, what is going on? Like, how did that big thing make that tiny, delicate noise? It's just so flippin' cute. Um, well, Andre, you clearly don't know enough. You don't. Okay, so, oh, Andre, the seagulls, the seagulls are the cheerleaders for the Seahawks. So, I mean, the seagulls already was taken like that. Those are the cheerleaders, the seagulls. They're the cheerleaders for the Seahawks. Seriously. Like, I mean, I think that's what they're still called. I know that's what they were called when I was a kid. I think they're still called the seagulls. So yeah. Oh, really, Kenny? So it really well, I mean, obviously the mascot's a human, right? I mean, do they have a mascot? But like what, an actual bird did swoop down? I mean, I hope it was not an osprey. Because if an osprey swooped down and landed on somebody's head, I would be freaking the heck out. And where, oh my, you've never seen West Side Story? No, I have not. But my sister, as I mentioned earlier, has seen it. She watched it every single day for 2 years straight. So I think she made up for it for me. But no, I've never seen West Side Story. There's a whole lot of our culture that I have not appreciated. Yeah, let's see here. Really, eMusic trivia. In the early days of the NFL, the Florida team was called the Seahawks before it was changed to the Dolphins. Interesting. I did not know that. Do they have osprey in Florida? I mean, I guess they probably do. They've got fish in Florida, right? Yeah, so, you know. Medium 7 Up, next movie night, West Side Story. Everyone suspend your disbelief and pretend the Italians are Puerto Ricans. Gotcha. Well, no. Oh, but you know what? Thanks for mentioning that. Okay, so the next movie night is not going to be West Side Story, but I will put that on the list. The next movie night is going to be Goonies, and I've got Goonies right here. So next movie night, that's Saturday, Statterbox at the cinema on Twitch, remember, 6 p.m. West Coast time, 3 p.m. Island time, 9 p.m. East Coast time, and I'm not going to do the math for the UK folks. Sorry about that, guys. We're going to be watching Goonies on Twitch. And then the week after that, I've got a pretty solid line on Young Frankenstein. I don't have Young Frankenstein in my hands yet, but I've got a pretty solid lead on a Young Frankenstein. So we're going to have Young Frankenstein. And then if everything works out and I learn how to do stuff right, we're going to have Coco on Halloween, the Halloween weekend, because that's the closest weekend to All Saints Day and Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos. So for the next 3 weeks, the next 2 weeks are for sure Goonies on Saturday, Young Frankenstein on the next Saturday. And then after that, in theory, Coco, I'm working on that one. So there you go. Oh, hey, Tina Rose. Good to see you. Yeah, I decided to change up the background a little bit. I dug up some scarves in my collection and threw them at the backdrop over the surfboards. I haven't quite figured out the exact layout, but I like this layout better than the one that I did the other day. The one that I did the other day, I was definitely not happy with. But yeah, this is pretty good. So yeah, I'm glad that you noticed. It's a little bit more, I think, my vibe than those upside down surfboards. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the upside down surfboards. I wish that I was where the surfboards were, but I'm not a surfer chick. I think we all know that, right? So yeah, this is a little more my vibe. Let's see here. So they have an actual they do have an actual live Seahawk. And he landed, so it was trained. Okay, it was trained. Okay, landed on the guy's head and was having a hard time getting a good foothold. Oh, that sounds like it could have been painful. But okay, now that you're explaining it, I'm not nearly as freaked out. Okay, cool. I might have to go see if I can find a YouTube video of that, actually. So let's see here. Andre, when you read Romeo and Juliet, you had to see West Side Story. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, actually, that probably would have made Romeo and Juliet a lot more enjoyable, frankly. Darlene, I'm glad that you like the new the new backdrop as well. It's a little bit chill. So let's see here. Oh, good. You haven't. Oh, medium 7 Up. You haven't seen Goonies either. Neither have I. This should not come as a shock to anyone. But I'm so glad that at least one other person hasn't seen the movie. And then Young Frankenstein. Yeah, everybody seems to have seen this movie before, except for me. But everybody seems to be wanting to see it again. It seems to be a big, funny people like that movie. So yeah. So I definitely went out of my way to track down Young Frankenstein. And as it turns out, one of the Statterbox was willing to donate it to me for a minute. I'll let you know who when we're showing it. But yeah, I definitely it looks like maybe the gentleman has revealed itself. Yes, Kenny was the one who donated Young Frankenstein. So I'm going to be borrowing that DVD from him for a minute. And so thanks to Kenny, we will have Young Frankenstein. Yeah, hopefully we'll have Young Frankenstein on Friday, Kenny, but I'm not holding my breath. Mail has been very strange these past couple weeks. So I'm thinking I might just do Goonies and then we'll have a week to advertise for Young Frankenstein, because I want everybody who wants to see Young Frankenstein to be able to come in and know that we're playing it, because I know that Andy Boomatai was just like, oh, I'd love to see Young Frankenstein. And a ton, when we had the stream where we were talking about what movies to do, Young Frankenstein was mentioned many times. And so I think that I really want to make sure that everybody knows we're playing Young Frankenstein. So Cindy, you're going to that concert with your daughter outside on the grass in the amphitheater night. Oh, excellent. It sounds like you're going to have a good time. I hope that you have a good time. You might miss out some of the Daily Pigeon Live, but that's okay, because you're going to be out there living life. Yes. eMusic. See, I didn't know this. eMusic tells me many sports teams have live animals along with a trainer there. I literally had no idea. No clue. But actually though, if I'd have known that, I'd probably be a little bit more inclined to go to a Seahawks game, because, I love raptors that, like, I wish I could be a raptor handler, or like a falconer, where you just put out your glove and they land on it. That'd be so flippin' awesome. Yeah, that's one of my dreams. So there you go. Belly Bear, you can relate to the character Chunk in Goonies. Yeah, I've never seen, but I know who Chunk is, and you better believe it. That's my one as well. Hey, Robert, good to see you. Seward Park in the house. All right, excellent. We were talking about the beluga whale that was seen in Puget Sound earlier this week, and various and assorted other whale stories. And so I'm glad to see you here, but you missed all the local talk, mister. So let's see here. Yeah, see, exactly. Kenny, watching Young Frankenstein was a guy's rite of passage when you were younger. It's so quotable. Right. Puolani local, 619 local, Young Frankenstein, really very funny. See, precisely. Everybody loves Young Frankenstein. And where Halloween should last at least 3 months. So many good, funny, spooky movies to see. And let me just say this. I think, dare I suggest, that instead of the 3-month buildup we have to Christmas, we erase that and we have a 3-month buildup to Halloween, right? I mean, I don't know. It could be my friends. It's probably my friends. But everyone I know would much rather have a 3-month buildup to Halloween than the 3-month buildup we get to Christmas. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. Well, Andre, yes, the Mad Chatters are the newest team in Seattle, except for I'd like to think that we're an expansion team. We've got members and players from all over the globe. So it's not just a Seattle team. It's just, it's the stream team. It's not just a dream team. It's a stream team. Oh boy, I'm making my own eye rolls now. Yes. Let's see here. Curtis Nix. Oh, Brother, We're Out There would be a great movie to watch and discuss, plus great music. That's true. I really like that movie. And oddly enough, at least I thought it was weird. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I don't have kids and I don't know anything. But I dated this guy who had a 6-year-old son. Now, that's not the big deal. But the 6-year-old son favorite movie was Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Whose kid is this? What 6-year-old boy is like, I want to watch this black and white George Clooney movie? I mean, I know it's not black and white, but Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is not, when I think of a 6-year-old boy, and what movie am I going to bring to make sure the 6-year-old boy is entertained while we go and do whatever? I can tell you right now, it would never cross my mind to be like, I'm going to pick up a copy of Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? That just is not where my brain goes at all. Not even close. Yeah, Andre, exactly. We're a satellite team. Exactly. Hey, Nani Aloha, good to see you here. I'm very excited to be hosting a manual raid in about 15 minutes over to the Daily Pigeon Live. That's right. I don't know if you guys have been here from the beginning, but I made clear at the very beginning of this stream, this is a 1.5 hour show tonight, which is going to be like, what? I know the best chatter usually ends up warming up right at the end, but we're going to be cutting it short. 1.5 hours is all we're doing tonight. I mean, maybe like 1.51 hours because I keep going rah, rah. But we're going to do a manual raid to Andy Bumatai's Daily Pigeon Live at 6 p.m. West Coast time, 3 p.m. Hawaii time, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. So we're going to be wrapping it up about 14 minutes here. And for the most part, I'm hoping to, from now on, keep it reeled into a 1.5 hour thing. We go on for 2 hours and it's super awesome. And I'm not opposed to the 2 hours, but I know that people do have lives and it is maybe a good idea to tighten things up. So when Andy decided to schedule his show for this particular time, it was as though he was reading my mind, and it's the whip that I needed to have cracked to trim my stuff up and let's get it to be, a good tight 1.5 hours. Yeah, that's a tight show. So there we go. Just wanted to let everybody know, though, what the plan of action is going to be. Just because you're here right now does not mean you're going to miss out on Andy. I'm going to make sure of that. So, I mean, you can hang out here after we're all gone, but, just turn the lights out when you go, because we're going to heli on over to Daily Pigeon Live. So, yeah, let's see here. I, having never seen Young Frankenstein, am not familiar with the particular quotes that are from Young Frankenstein, but I have no doubt in my mind that when we watch Young Frankenstein, you're going to see my chats every 35 seconds. Oh, that's where that line comes from. Oh, I never understood what people meant when they, because I know that there's going to be so many cultural references or, pop cultural references that I've heard my entire life that I didn't necessarily know the source of. I have no doubt that Young Frankenstein is just going to be like, oh, well, that explains half my flippin' childhood conversations then. Oh, thank you, Michael Anthony Smith. My show is great. Yes, I think that we've created a pretty good vibe here, and I'm really stoked that everyone is still hanging out, even though the shows go a little long sometimes. Frankly, it's the reason why the shows go a little long is because all y'all are still hanging out and got something to say. So, yeah, I think that we all have done a great job here of making this a good community to hang out with, and Andy's going to be, it's like I'm opening for Andy today. And so, yeah, but on Sunday, we'll still be here 4:30 p.m. on West Coast and 1:30 Island time. And I don't think Andy's going to be doing anything on Sunday. So we might run long on Sundays. Who knows? We'll see. And yes, e-music. I'm so bad at this and I need to start remembering this. If you like this stream, if you like the crew that we're hanging out with, by all means, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want to know, if you want to get hit the subscribe and notification button if you want to get notified when I am on live with all y'all hanging out. Like I said before, YouTube, my schedule, Thursdays and Sundays, 4:30 p.m. West Coast time. Saturdays, though, we have Statterbox at the Cinema on Twitch, 6 p.m. West Coast, 3 p.m. on the Hawaiian time, 9 p.m. on that East Coast. And Goonies is what we're watching this Saturday, I think. Maybe Young Frankenstein, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Goonies. So, So there you go. Yeah, exactly, Nani. I'm the opener for Andy today. Let's see here. So let's see here. Yeah, Andre, exactly. You on movie night, everybody left except for you and Kenny, and then you were all just hanging out and chatting. I think that's so flippin' awesome. And like I said, if all y'all want to hang out while we're at at Andy's Daily Pigeon, then by all means, let's do it. I'll leave the light on for ya. Yeah, I'm not surprised. See, to me, Andre, you're right. Monty Python is the most quoted movie and show during my teenage years as well. That's the one. Well, actually, you know what? I can't say that because I don't know the quotes that came from Young Frankenstein, whereas I do know the quotes that came from Monty Python because I have actually seen some of those. Yeah, but yeah, the Monty Python ones are way more way more my speed. Excellent, Andre, you pushed the like button before anybody was here, and you were number 2. You're number 2, just like in Whip It. We're number 2. Excellent. Medium 7 Up, can you say that you've opened for Andy too? Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. I'm not going to put that on my resume. Good Lord. It's a little bit of a stretch of the imagination, right? Little bit of a stretch of imagination. Cindy, you think the movie night's been fun? Honestly, I'm not much of a movie person, but I've been having a great time at movie night. And so as long as we can get away with it, I'm wanting to really do it. I know that, things and stuff might keep us from doing this forever, but I think as long as we can handle, as long as we can keep the man at bay, we can do it. Yeah. Oh, and I think it's just a flesh wound. Yeah, honestly, I mean, gosh, I don't know what I could say is the most used quote out of that movie, but it's just a flesh wound is top 3 easy, for sure. For sure. Oh, Andre, how did you know about that billboard? Hey, Andre says, hey, I thought the last one out of Seattle turned off the lights. Wow. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what he's referring to, in the late 70s, Boeing laid off a ton of people. I mean, a ton of people. So much so that basically Seattle, because at the time, this was before Microsoft, this was before Amazon, this was before anything. This was back when Seattle was the jet city. Now Everett's the jet city, but this was back when Seattle was the jet city because Boeing was located here. And, stationed in Renton, but still whatever, Seattle. So anyway, they laid off a bunch of people. And on I-5, there was a bunch of billboards that said, last one out of Seattle, please turn off the lights. It might have even been a Seattle City Light commercial or billboard. I don't really know what the billboard was advertising, but it was basically making reference to our city is dying, so turn off the lights, last one out. Yeah. So, yeah, no, Kenny Casey, help, I'm being repressed is, come see the violence inherent in the system. That is probably amongst my friends, the most quoted. Like that line is probably the most quoted amongst my friends. Yeah, it cracks me up every time. So, let's see here. The Knights of Knee in the shrubbery. Can I bring you a shrubbery? I have gotten so many random laughs when I've just, made reference to just using the word shrubbery is enough to make some people giggle because they think immediately of Monty Python. Yeah. Andre, you need to make sure that you were in the other house because the movie was a slideshow. No, that wasn't you, dude. That was the man keeping us down. That was technology knowing what we were doing because I have great internet and I was watching, I had multiple, it wasn't you. It was YouTube or YouTube. Somebody knew that I was live streaming and I wasn't supposed to. It was the same thing that happened with Rollerball. The technology was thwarting the situation, which is why I'm going to try to get a copy of that DVD or I'm gonna try to rebroadcast that in a way that the man won't keep keeping us down, so it won't just be a slideshow. But that wasn't. I don't think it had anything to do with where you were at, Andre. I think it had everything to do with what I was trying to do. It was a slideshow for everybody, it sounds like. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, Darlene, that's it. It's not just the movie. It's exactly. It's hanging out with the gangy and just hanging out, doing nothing and hanging out, watching a movie together. So, I think that's really, that's why I probably like it, because I think we all know movies are not really my thing. I don't really like movies. I don't dislike them, but they're just not something I go out of my way to do. And here we are going out of my way to make sure that it gets done, and it's awesome. And Curtis, I fart in your general direction. Yeah, exactly. Uh, let's see here. Ann Ware says it's a litmus test. Who knows if they're funny stuff if someone knows you're quoting Holy Grail. Oh yeah, Holy Grail is yeah, that's like the bar on which all all pop cultural references are measured against, pretty much. Yeah. Yes, I know. I'm keeping an eye. Thank you so much. I think that was medium 7 up. Yep. Andy's 5-minute warning. I know. Yep. I've got it too. But thank you for keeping me on track. No, we can't have too many cracks, whipping the cracks or cracking the whips. There we go. Keep me from going over. Trust me. Yes. So, let's see here. Andre, order takeout and watch a movie with you guys. Yeah, precisely. That's the whole thing. That's exactly it. I had a bowl of ramen the other night, or when we were watching Tampopo. I can have something to eat. If you're not going to see me slurping on the video. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, Kenny. Yeah, I hope that I like all 7 of them. Yeah, Kenny has hooked me up. He's hooked us all up. So Kenny is the one that we have to thank for the Young Frankenstein coming. And then there's 6 other movies he has given, or not given, but loaned me. And I believe that we've got a Monty Python in there, perhaps even 2. And then a whole bunch of other ones that I have no idea. Well, I have no idea. So it'll be a nice little surprise that we're going to have there. Hey, Shakalak, good to see you. I think you know this, but you're only going to be here for about 3 minutes, because after 3 minutes, we're going to manually raid over to the Daily Pigeon Live and greet Andy with open arms. So while you're here, don't forget to smash that like button if you could, please. And if you already haven't subscribed and hit the notification bell, well, you can do that too. Alrighty, there we have it. But yeah, we're almost wrapping this up. I know normally we go 2 hours and you think you've got another half hour of me going blah, blah, blah. But nope, you're going to have to listen to Andy while you're going driving. There we go. So let's see here. Curtis, you made movies for a living but would never go pay to see them. Much more enjoyable at home. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. There's some movies that it's just like, yeah, I want to see that in the theater. I can't remember what the last movie was that I wanted to see in the theater, but one movie that was many, many moons ago, I think it was called, it's not Guardians of the Galaxy. It's an animated movie, and it was in 3D, and it was with Santa Claus. Santa was a tattooed Russian guy, and it was with the Tooth Fairy, and it was with the Sandman, and it was with the Easter Bunny, and it was with somebody else, and they had to save the world from I don't remember. God, I wish I could remember what the movie was, but I'm so glad I saw that in the theaters, because the 3D animation was literally magical. So there are some things that are worth seeing in the theaters, but for the most part, no, I'd much rather do it at home. Much rather do it at home. So, Yeah, so all right, we've got the final countdown. Yeah, Sass, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in 3D. I didn't see that in 3D. I did see it at IMAX, and that was an amazing. The boat ride was almost nauseating, actually. So, oh, Michael Anthony Smith, you're going to Tom Petty to see the Tom Petty movie next week. Excellent, excellent. Probably haven't been to a movie theater in a couple years. I would be willing to bet. I know I haven't. Yeah. All right. Well, hey guys, we are looking at about 6 p.m. on my clock. So, oh, did I see it with you, Sass? Huh? What do you know? Yeah, we must have had a good time. Couldn't remember it. All right then. So, hey guys, let's all head over to Daily Pigeon Live with Andy Bumatai on YouTube. For those of you who aren't subscribed, it's Daily Pigeon Live. Just do a search for YouTube if you want to come hang out with everybody else who's been hanging out here. And yeah, take care of you all. I'll see you over at Andy's place. Thanks for coming in tonight. All right. Statter raid. That's it.